one final push. It is that one final match that stands between India and the world title, the world T20 title, which India had won back in 2007. In between, for the last 11 years, India hasn't won an ICC tournament. But now, tonight, they face South Africa for that final battle in Barbados.
There have been multiple heartbreaks that we have faced since 2014. I hope this is not another time that India goes to a final and loses it. But I have a very strong feeling that Virat Kohli is going to come good. And a lot of people have been talking about it. A lot of people have been talking about whether he should change his approach or not. But I have a feeling that it is Virat Kohli's day.
Okay, we have experts on the show. Let's introduce them. Former Test cricketer Ashok Malhotra and former India cricketer Abhishek Nair. Let me start out by asking both of you the percentage of winning chance, Ashokji, you give to India against South Africa tonight.
I would say 80-20. Why I'm saying is because India is playing 80-20 because India's batting is awesome. On the even difficult wickets, we bat very, very deep. And then we have fantastic bowling. If wicket is low and slow, then our bowling is by far the best. We have got three wonderful spinners and who can really pin anybody down like they did against England. And I'm sure South Africa, because these foreigners, they don't play the wrong one better. So you will only hit a guy if you can pick the right ball. Whether it's a leg spinner or it's a googly, they can't pick the googly. So that is why they are very reluctant to use their feet against Kuldeep Yadav. And then Bumrah, we know what he can do. Arshdeep is reversing the ball as said by Inzamamul Haq. So we have all bases covered. We bat very deep. And my friend said Virat will come good. I'm also hoping he will come good because we are all great fans of Virat Kohli. But he'll have to change his style of play. Well, sorry, but he'll have to change his style of play.
Abhishek, what do you feel? What are the chances that you're giving India? And I hope you're not being as generous as Ashok Pachi because he says 80-20. I think it should be an even contest.
So I woke up very optimistic today. And when I woke up in the morning, I was at 100 India. So I was very strong feeling inside that India is going to take this home. It's going to be I don't think it's going to be a great game as well. I think India is going to run home with this trophy. I think that is my heart. Now my head and the stats obviously, bring it out to 60-40 because the bowling for both sides have been very similar. I mean, both teams have bowled really well in the tournament, picked up wickets, averages, everything's pretty similar. But the one thing where I've gone this 10% more with India is because India's batting has yielded a lot more runs. Compare both the teams, India has managed to obviously get more runs at a higher strike rate. The South African batters have battled at around 105, 110 on a strike rate, not a big average. So in that, keeping all those aspects in mind, one more thing, we're going to have a team that's going to win a championship without losing a game. And, so I have a strong feeling that India is going to do that. Rohit Sharma and his team, after coming this close to doing that during the World Cup, ODI World Cup, God's going to be kind and is going to give Rohit Sharma the trophy he deserves and Rahul Dravid the farewell he deserves.
Okay,
and otherwise, Rika, the choker's tag will be around our neck. If we don't put it
I am actually wanted to ask all three of you actually, which team is mentally stronger tonight? I mean, what is your assessment? I'll start with Ashokji.
See, mentally we are tough. We are led by a very mentally tough guy who has his own methods, who the way he's batting. On a difficult wicket, he's batting like a champion. And then we have Surya Kumar Yadav, who, if he gets going, he's unstoppable. And then not to forget, you have got Rishabh Pant, you got Hardik Pandya, you got Shivam Dube, who do come good when the wicket is a little flat and right. And then you got Aksar and Ravindra Jadeja. We bat very, very deep. And as Abhishek said, our batting has yielded good lot of runs, because most of the sides have scored 120, 130, 135, and then we have got a phenomenal bowling lineup which can beat any side. If you put even 140 on the board, I'll fancy India's chances to beat the other side.
You asked Ritender which side he thinks is mentally stronger than the other.
And I'm glad that nobody is talking like using the word choker here, because
Ashok ji already used the word.
Everyone's being cautious.
Ashok ji has already used the word. By the way, he said, yeah. He said,
I'm a bit old-fashioned. I'm a bit old-fashioned.
Yeah, sorry, Ritender, go ahead.
Look, Rika, it has to be India. It seems to be a better side. If you talk about the World Cup so far, and the batting has been superb. The juggernaut of Team India is unstoppable at the moment, and it should not stop. So I have a very strong feeling. Fingers crossed, because cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties. And as Choki Baji and Abhishek has been talking about the Indian batting lineup, I'm not sure about the deepness of Atlantic Ocean as we talked earlier. So Indian batting is somewhat like that. Again, fingers crossed. So that is where I think India has a very, very strong chance today. The only team under pressure will be South Africa, because they know that they are playing against hot tribe India, who is in a stupendous bowling form. Batting has been brilliant. Virat Kohli, definitely a cause of concern, but that shouldn't bother Team India, because if he gets form today, then it should be a one-sided game. So yes, it has to be India all the way today.
Abhishek, even you think that India is mentally a stronger side than South Africa?
Well, I don't like to use the word mentally stronger, but the way I look at it, I feel mentally prepared. I feel India is a more mentally prepared team and a more mentally aware team. Also about the conditions and also about the opposition. If you go man to man, you look at the Indian bowling lineup, you'll see that there are a lot of bowlers that will trouble the South African side. When you look at the South African side, there aren't a lot of bowlers necessarily who are going to trouble the Indian batters per se. They may have a great day, but just before you enter the park, I'm pretty sure no one's having nightmares about them. But on the other hand, there will be batters in that team who will be thinking about how they're going to deal with the Bumrah, how they're going to deal with Kuldeep Yadav. So those things I feel add up, and which is why I said I feel India's a more mentally prepared and aware team today.
Ashokji, correct me if I am wrong. The team that comes through in a tournament like this, having played closer matches, are the ones who have experienced those crunch situations and are better prepared. Is it right or wrong? And South Africa, India hasn't really played crunch matches, except, for those that are against Pakistan, they have really not been tested in this tournament.
Definitely so. That is what I'm saying. This year, this South African team is looking at mentally tougher team. They have come out in a close matches. The matches that they would have lost otherwise in other years. But this year, they kind of bounced back. And they're playing as a unit, one unit, collectively. One for all for one kind of a thing. There is a good unity, good team spirit in the side. So they are a challenging side. And when we talk about, like Abhishek did, I am a bit worried about somebody like Klassen. If South Africa bats first, puts runs on the board, then it might be, it'll be daylight robbery although, but still, then because the way Rika, you said, they have won the crunch game. They won the difficult, come in the game from difficult situations. These kind of things, the team can be difficult, but my heart says, my mind says that it has to be known. Nobody but Team India, until and unless it's a daylight robbery.
Ritender, I wanted to ask him a question on what really do you think tonight can test India? Is there any one thing that can test India?
Look, the only name finals of the World Cup, I think that is where all the pressure lies because it's a finale, it's not a league game, it's a finale of a premier event and that itself should test India, should test South Africa. And look, if you talk about the previous World Cup, which we lost the finals against Australia.
Abhishek, what is that one factor or a couple of factors that might really test India?
Well, I think, like Ashok Paji said, Klaasen is someone you're always wary about the South African batters, especially someone like, Klaasen or David Miller, because these guys have enough experience against India. They've played a lot of cricket in India. Aiden Markram is another player, but honestly, if you ask me, Aiden Markram is not someone who can impact the game. He can play a great second role to someone like a Klaasen and David Miller. But I think all in all, the only thing that India would be worried about is making sure that they start well. Because whenever you're playing a final, you want to start well. You want to make sure that you've got the runs on board, and that sort of eases the pressure. In a T20 game, it's not like a 50-over game where you play over a period of 3.5 hours. It's the first 20-25 minutes that pretty much determine where the game is going. So I feel which team starts strong, which team starts right, is going to sort of have the upper hand, and that is what India is going to be concerned about with bat or ball. They would want to start well, which is why they would want Virat Kohli to get some runs. Because if that happens and Virat Kohli and Rohit are batting well, then India is setting a big platform, getting runs, and makes it easier for them.
In fact, when you talk about Virat Kohli, and this is a stat that is probably going to make a lot of people happy. The highest score in a T20 final, T20 World Cup final for India, it is Virat Kohli's. He has hit 77 in 2014, way back in 2014, and that should give some hope to all Virat Kohli fans and Team India, because we need him today. We definitely need him today. Do you agree with that, Ritin?
Yes, Usama. Look, Virat is a big player. He hasn't been among runs. If we say that is not a cause of concern, then we wouldn't be actually saying the truth, because that's a cause of concern. Because the thing, whenever there's a tough situation, we can be, God forbid, 10-for-2. We need Virat Kohli that time, who can really take us through, play that sheet anchor role, which he has been doing in IPL, getting the game, move on, single, double, and boundary sixes. That is where Virat Kohli is so very important. But at the moment, yes, we have been cruising without Virat's sublime form. And that's a bonus for us. But we want Virat Kohli firing today, because if he gets runs, the pressure on Rohit and Surya Kumar Yadav, it lessens up. And that is where Virat is such an important player. And lots of people have been talking he should come down the order, number 3, Rishabh Pant opening the innings. I think that wouldn't solve the purpose. Let him open the inning. He's too big a player. He gets in those 6 overs.
Ashokji, let me ask you about the way the game is expected to be poised. Do you think match will be determined by the team that performs well in the power play?
Yes, definitely, Sorry. And my thinking, always sitting miles away, I think win the toss, put runs on the board, and put pressure on the opposition. This is a pressure game. Whatever we talk about India, South Africa, both will be feeling the pressure, because India has not won a ICC tournament for 14 years. So definitely we are under pressure. We want to see where either you get overexcited or you get bit nervous. It happens to best of guys. It is not that it will not happen to Team India. But if South Africa puts runs on the board, if they put 160, 170 on the board, then we are talking about a good game. Because thankfully for this will be that Virat will come in form, because he's the best chaser in the world. And one more thing I would like to say, let's not talk about what Virat Kohli will do, what Rohit Sharma will do. I want to know what Team India will do. Because we hero worship our heroes a lot. We don't look at what Team India is doing. We should look at what not individual is doing, what the team collectively is doing. That is my thinking. But I think it's going to be a good game if South Africa wins the toss and bats first.
Abhishek, let's make it for Dravid, or let's win it for Dravid is a hashtag that's been trending.
Which he definitely not is a fan of.
Yeah, he isn't a fan of, but he knows that's the reality. And it's not just Rahul Dravid. Several stalwarts of the game will probably not be playing together when the next World Cup comes around. Do you think that's going to play at the back of their mind, that this is probably going to be their last hurrah for many of them?
Not really. I think when you go into a game of cricket, sometimes on the outside you feel like cricketers think about these things, but most of these guys don't think like that. When they're playing this match, I think the approach will be, and it And because they play so many high pressure games, whenever you're playing for India, you're under pressure, because there is no game of cricket that you play for India and you don't feel pressure, because no matter where you play, there are expectations. So I feel, the good thing about, the Indian players and the Indian team is that pressure is something that is a feeling they're used to. So when they play a final, they aren't going to do anything different. They played the World Cup final. It wasn't like they choked in it, but Australia played a lot better than them on that particular day. They bowled a lot better. They executed their plans, but no one batted under pressure. Rohit Sharma still went out and played his shots. Shubman Gill tried to play his shots. So I feel the Indian players are still going to play the way they've always played. Yes, it's one day. It's 3.5 hours of cricket. There's always a rub of the green that has to go your way in sport. And you're just hoping India has that, because both teams have played flawless cricket so far. So today, it's not so much about who holds their nerves, but who has that rub of the green tonight and can take home the trophy. But I feel India is destined to do it.
Do you also feel there is this whole weather factor that is going around? Is it also going to play on the mind of these players? Because we have seen Rohit Sharma in fact in the last game as well. When he lost the toss, he said that we would have batted first here. Is that something that Rohit Sharma has pre-decided for himself and the team, that look, whatever happens, we'll probably just go out, bat first, put runs on the board, and then put South Africa under pressure?
Yes, if you bat first and if you put them under pressure, that would be a blessing, because it's a pressure game. If you have runs on the board and we have such a good sublime bowling, everybody is in top-notch form. And I would just add on, as Ashoki Padi has hit the nail on the head, hit the bullseye, by saying it has to be a team effort. If we analyze the games when the World Cup started, it hasn't been Rohit Sharma all the way. It hasn't been Bumrah all the way. Everybody's contributing. You talk about Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant, Kuldeep Yadav, all have a role to play. Surya Kumar Yadav, and that is what team effort is all about. So yes, we have been talking about Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. They are star players. They have to hit the top-notch form. But yes, it has to be Arshdeep Singh. He can be man of the match today. It can be Kuldeep Yadav. So yes, if all 11 fires today, we are winning the World Cup.
In 2007 as well, a left-arm pacer won us the World Cup. In fact, two left-arm pacers, they won us the World Cup. Irfan Pathan was the man of the match in that final, and RP Singh was the highest wicket taker for India. And this time, Arshdeep Singh, he is the highest wicket taker in this campaign. So these are good signs. These are really good signs.
Abhishek, when your skills on a day, when your skills of number crunching has to be as good as your cricketing skills, what does a captain really think? Because you have to be coming out with that huge Duckworth-Lewis calculation. You really have to be concentrating on that as well. What does a captain think in these situations?
Well, I think, normally someone, at least I can speak for Rohit Sharma, what Rohit Sharma would be thinking at this point, he always likes doing his preparation. So he'll do his groundwork, watch videos, watch the oppositions, come up with his own ideologies and plans and what he feels that he's going to sort of face the next day. And then once he enters the ground, he lets his instincts take over. And that's what I think good captains do. They will prepare, but, once they enter the ground, they want their instincts to take over. They don't want to second guess themselves. They don't want to second guess any decision they make, because I've always believed in sport, it's really important to make a decision, not so much about whether it's a right one or wrong one, but have a lot of belief that your decision is the decision you want to make. So that's what you expect from any leadership. And I think Rohit Sharma has done that brilliantly. And you'll see that tonight. Keep it decisive. Like one of those videos that you saw on the internet where he tells Surya that if he bowls full, I'm hitting it for 6.
Yeah.
Decisiveness, that clarity. You'll see that with Rohit Sharma, and you can expect that with Rohit Sharma.
Right. You also want to talk about a little bit about the South African side, and we have talked about the batting. You know how Quinton de Kock is probably one of the better openers that they have and they have had for a long time. You have the firepower of Markram and Klaasen in the middle, but I also want to focus on their bowling. Rabada versus India and
Marco
Indian
Jansen.
batters, and Marco Jansen against and especially Rabada versus India. He has always been a thorn in the flesh. He has always come good versus the openers, and his record against both Kohli and Rohit Sharma is it's really phenomenal. Is that one contest, Ashok Paji? Do you think that is one contest that people should be looking forward to? Because Rohit Sharma in great form versus Rabada, that is going to be like a feast to the eyes.
See, before Rabada, it'll be Jensen because he's a left-hander. He can, although I would say they will come easy for the simple reason they're big, tall guys. They might get more bounce, which might suit our battle. Where our guys are short guys, they might not get the kind of bounce which they expect. So that might be in our favor. But when it comes to bowling, they have phenomenal bowling. But I somehow my feeling, my gut instinct says, whosoever wins the toss, whosoever bats first, has a better chance of winning the World Cup.
Oh wow. Okay. Ridendra Baji, do you feel winning the toss gives you the advantage here in the final, as Shoaib Baji is saying?
Yeah, definitely. Look, it's a pressure game. If you put runs on the board, then they have to get it. And I have a very strong feeling. We have a very strong bowling lineup. We can really defend any total. Yes, it shouldn't be 130, 140 because that would put enormous pressure on Bumrah and Arshdeep. If we get 160, 170 on the board, that will test South Africans because they know that we are at the moment too good with the new ball and spinners have been blazing cylinders. So yes, if we bat first, provided we win the toss, because there can be a situation when we are not batting first, and that is also where India will be prepared for that. But yes, if we win the toss, we are batting first, advantage will be with Team India.
Well, we'll hope that it is advantage Team India against South Africa, but the predictors across the globe are saying it's 50-50. Many betting websites that I looked at, they said 50-50. So let's see which way the scale tilts. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us.
I have a feeling that Shoki Paji is going to come good with his prediction.
No, see, the betting people are betting people. They will bet on anything. So don't worry about it. You know, let's reality hit us. And if India does not win this, I'm saying again and again, it'll be like daylight robbery. Because India all the way.
All right.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us here. And we will wait for that moment later tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.